Hey guys, I'm Sam, and today we're going to be talking about the new and improved Scrambler V3. I've owned every model of Scrambler since the V1, and there's some pretty unreal upgrades on the new V3s that we're going to dive into. So yeah, let's get to it. So I first came across Fatboy back in 2022 when they had their V1s, and I grew up riding dirt bikes, doing Indo trips, riding scooters, and I just love that feeling of being on some sort of motorbike wherever you are. And I wanted that same sort of feeling but in a bicycle version so I could ride around town back at home. And when I came across this style of fat bike, it was instantly what I was looking for. Felt like there was not much on the market at that time. Fatboy, in my opinion, was the first people to really nail the design of the cafe racer style of e-bike, and they're continuing to pioneer in that space, which is sick to see. So I've owned every model of Scrambler since they first released the V1s, and last year I did a big trip around Australia and took the V2 mounted on the front of our caravan, and we took it to some pretty remote spots, and safe to say it handled pretty well the whole trip. Yeah, it was a bit of an ultimate test for the V2s, and we definitely put it through its paces. And yeah, it's safe to say that the Scrambler held up pretty well, and it's still going. My brother actually has my old bike, and it's still going strong after a full year on the caravan around Australia in the elements. So yeah, that's not a testament to the quality of these bikes, and I don't know what is. So one of the important things to talk about with the Scrambler V3 is that they are EN 19154 certified, which basically means they are legal to ride in any state in Australia on the road, and on bike paths and things like that. So I'm going to start with the front of the bike here and work my way towards the back. And first thing here is the new FBX power system. This thing is the brains of the V3. It's got an upgraded display, almost feels futuristic to a sense, and it connects all the electronic components into one, so everything's communicating clearly. At the front here, we've also got an upgraded headlight, which is super bright at night, and that includes that running daytime LED light. The next big leap in upgrades on the V3 is definitely the front suspension. This thing is honestly like dirt bike suspension. I was waiting a long time for them to change this because the V2 just had some more stock suspension. And this front suspension also includes preload compression and rebound tuning, so you can fine tune it however you like. Moving down, we've still got the V Huntsman puncture resistant tires. And then sticking to the wheels, one of the things I'm really excited about on this bike is the new brake system. I was waiting a long time for this, just like I was with the suspension, and because they are a heavier bike to just your average bike, they really need some good brakes. You can't just use off-the-shelf brakes on these sort of bikes. So Fatboy have gone ahead and custom made these unreal brakes, which have a lot more stopping power. And Fatboy built these components specifically for these bikes. They've got these pretty cool custom designed cooling fins to manage heat at high speeds and deliver consistent performance in all conditions. They also have increased the thickness of the rotors on the brakes as well. So it is subtle, but it does make a big difference when you're braking at quicker speeds. Now moving down from the front to the back, we've got a few accessories on this bike. I've opted for a phone holder, cup holder. Mirror's a game changer, especially when you're on the road. Just keep an eye out for traffic. The Shimano 7-speed system, which is, yeah, super reliable, super quick, easy to change gears. You know, for a first-time rider who hasn't ridden these bikes much, it's a great system for someone to learn on. Bell, you've got your control panel here and your assistance levels. And the actual frame design, I've noticed, is a lot more streamlined. It just feels a lot more solid in the frame itself, but I feel like they've removed a bunch of unnecessary elements, especially towards the back here. So it just flows a lot nicer towards the back where the battery is. Next thing, moving down, is definitely the seat. We've got a lower profile seat, a little bit easier for getting on and off, especially for passengers. They can easily just swing a leg around and you're good to go. I like to have my suspension a bit softer when it's just me riding, And then when I have a passenger, I usually tighten that up. So it's just super easy and you just get the right bounce depending on what weight you have on the bike. But these bikes can hold up to 180 kilos. And one of the things I've noticed about these new V3s is that even the little things that you'd think, you know, wouldn't even need an upgrade, like the mud guards or the foot pegs, they've gone ahead and redesigned all of them. So they've looked at, I feel like they've looked at every detail on this bike and been like, what can we do to make this better and completely redesign the whole bike and make it the ultimate experience on an e-bike. Another thing to mention is the stainless steel chain here. I think on the V1 model, they hadn't had this yet. So I was living by the beach and it would just get rusted out. And you see a lot of other bikes on the market, you know, people riding past, they just have fully rusted chains because of the salt. But this is a stainless steel chain, and as long as you're washing it off and keeping it in good nick, it doesn't rust at all, stays nice and clean. So as we move down the back of the bike, we've got our 20 amp hour Samsung lithium battery. This thing charges super fast, it's super safe, and it's also certified to Australian standards. So you know that it's safe when you're charging it. I find I get around 40 to 60 Ks out of this thing, depending on how many hills I'm doing. And moving to the very rear of the bike, you've got the rear cargo rack, which comes standard with every purchase. The basket I've gone for because it's just practical for groceries, towels, things going to the beach, things like that. And the actual brake light has been upgraded as well. So when you're braking, this brake light shines a bit brighter. And yeah, super safe for when you're on the road or if you're riding, you know, at sunrise or sunset. Yeah, people will be able to see you on the road, which is great. And then you've got your reliable Bafang motor at the back here. So on our trip around Australia, I got this bike serviced a couple of times at the stockist that Fatboy have. And I asked them the question, what bikes do you see the least come back for problems? And they said, hands down, the Fatboy. A few other things to note, these bikes come with a 2-year warranty. And when you purchase one of these bikes, they actually come in a big box that's 95% assembled already. So it's super easy to put together. So this bike comes in 6 colors. I've had the black version for a V1, the jungle green for the V2, and this is a new colorway for the V3, the brushed alloy. And I think it just shines. It matches my car, which is sort of the silver color. And I think it pairs really well with the black accents on it. So yeah, super pumped with how this brushed alloy has turned out. I think they've absolutely killed it with the colorways for these models. These bikes also come with free shipping anywhere in Australia for orders over $100. And they now have 70 stockists. I think they only had a couple when I first had the V1. So yeah, that's pretty much it for a review on the Scrambler V3. I've had this thing for a couple of months now, and it just really fits into our lifestyle so well. We take it to the beach, to the gym, to mates' places. It's just such a good daily commuter when you don't want to take the car. And with fuel prices the way they are at the moment, you know, I'll be using this thing a lot more, I'm sure. If you're considering getting one of these, I don't want to try and sell it to you. The bike really does speak for itself. Get yourself down to one of your local stockists or into Fatboy and do a test ride of one of these things, because yeah, once you feel how solid it is and the way that it performs for your daily driving, dropping your kids to school, heading out on weekends, taking it on some off-road tracks, yes, this thing is just such a good, great all-rounder. They have other models which serve their own use as well. The Harlem is the step through and the Bagus is just the meatier version of this. But yeah, the Scrambler is by far my favorite, and I think it performs so well and fits into our lifestyle. Thanks guys for watching, and get yourself on a Scrambler.